Welcome to the Church in Atlanta Virtual Children's Meeting. Suffering without complaining.
Welcome to Children's Meeting. My name's Aaron.
And my name's Jean. And this is
Noah.
We have a song for you. Ready?
Set.
Go.
Go.
The fish need water, the birds need air. The children need children's meetings.
The cows need grass. The cars need gas. Beep, 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 beep. The children need children's meetings.
And
I need you, and you need me.
We're members of a family.
And God needs us, and we need God
To be His testimony.
Ready? Psalm 100 and Psalm 118. I will enter His gates with thanksgiving in my heart. I will enter His courts with praise. I will say this is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice, for He has made me glad. He has made me glad. He has made me glad. I will rejoice, for He has made me glad. He has made me glad. He has made me glad. I will rejoice, for He has made me glad.
Amen.
Hallelujah!
Hello, we're the Chappelles, and we're going to sing Don't Complain When You Have a Job to Do.
Don't complain when you have a job to do. Homework, chores, and helping others too. Do your job joyfully, show responsibility. Don't complain when you have a job to do. Don't complain when you have a job to do. Make your bed, do some resting in your room. Do your job joyfully, show responsibility. Don't complain when you have a job to do. Don't complain when you have a job to do. Set the table, clean the dishes off the floor. Take the garbage, feed the dog, pick the toys, mow the lawn. Our laundry too. Today's lesson.
Today's lesson is suffering without complaint. Now, for many of us, we don't experience a lot of suffering. But many of us in this time of quarantine and during this time, we have to stay at home. We may have experienced many inconveniences. One thing we want to talk about is how do we react in different situations that may be hard. What are our actions when we are faced with inconveniences? Some of us may complain. What does it mean to complain?
To complain means to express dissatisfaction, annoyance about something. Complaining can look or sound like whining, grumbling, murmuring, reasoning, and even sighing loudly.
The Bible tells us in Philippians 2:14 and 15,
Do all things without murmurings and reasonings,
that you may be blameless and guileless children of God, without blemish in the midst of a crooked and perverted generation, among whom you shine as luminaries in the world.
We're going to look at some examples of what may cause us to complain, and we will also look at what we could do instead of complaining in the following situations. Sometimes you may complain because things are not happening the way you want them to happen. Your parents may say no or ask you to do something you don't want to do.
Can you make up your bed?
But Daddy, I'm reading.
Nathaniel, can you make up your bed, please?
Daddy, may I finish this chapter first?
Okay.
If this happens, do not complain to try to get your way. Instead, remember that you cannot have your own way all of the time. You can also tell your parents politely how you feel, what you are doing, and ask if you can do what you are asked to do a little later. You can give your parents time to think and respond, and what you say might cause them to change their minds. But if they ask you to still do it now, then it is good to obey with a good attitude and without complaint.
Jaken, I need you to take out the trash. Jaken, I need you to take out the trash.
Okay.
Something that may cause you to complain is doing something for the first time or learning to do something hard. A person with proper character is willing to suffer without complaint, pass through unpleasant or difficult experiences without giving up. When you find yourself in this situation, it is good to ask for help from someone who can show the way to do it. You can also take a deep breath, remind yourself to have patience, and keep trying to do it until you get it. It may take a while, but if you keep trying with a good attitude, you will likely overcome the hardship with proper character and in most cases, learn from your experience. Remember Philippians 2:14 through 15. To do all things without murmurings and reasonings, that you could shine as luminaries in the world. Have a great week.
Everything we do and say, we are sowing seeds. And the kind of seeds we sow will be what we grow. How we play, what we say, every deed, every word, each and every day in every way, we are sowing seeds. If I whine or tell a lie, that is sowing weeds. Yuck! I would rather use good words and sow healthy seeds. Yum! When I've grown what I've sown, all see, look at me, I've planted carefully. Every day in every way, we are sowing seeds.
Story time.
Hello everyone, I'm Miss Lydia and this is,
Eloise.
and we're telling the lesson, which is suffering without complaining. Now most of us know what suffering is and what complaining is, but I looked it up in the dictionary. And the dictionary tells us that to complain is to express grief, pain, or discontent. That means you might feel grief or pain or discontent, and that would be suffering it. But once you express it, that means you're complaining. That seems like it might be hard to do, right? But in the Bible, there's a story of a person who suffered a lot and he never complained. And we can see this story in Genesis chapter 37. It starts out saying that Joseph, when he was just 17 years old, he was loved more than all of Israel's sons because he was a son of Israel's old age. And so his father had made him a coat of many colors. That sounds quite nice, right? That doesn't sound like suffering. But when you read the next verse, it says, and when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all of his brothers, they hated him and could not speak peaceably to him. That's quite a suffering. Can you imagine having your siblings hate you and to not be able to speak nicely to you? That's quite hard. But he never complained. Later on, Israel called Joseph and said, go now and see if it is well with your brothers and well with the flock, and bring word back to me. So the father had sent Joseph to go and check on the brothers and the flock, and he did. He listened to his father. And when the brothers saw him from a distance, before he even came near to them, they conspired against him. They were planning something that's not so good. And when Joseph came to his brothers, they stripped Joseph of his coat of many colors, and they took him and threw him into a pit. Isn't that awful? That's quite a suffering. You were just doing what you were told to do, and they took him and they threw him in a pit and took away his coat. Then they sat down to eat food, and when they looked, there was a caravan of Ishmaelites. And so the brothers said, let's sell him to this caravan of Ishmaelites. And so when these traders passed by, they pulled Joseph up, lifting him out of the pit, and they sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. And this brought him to the land of Egypt. This is also a huge suffering. He was sold away by his brothers, away from his own family, his own home, to a whole nother land. He had to go there all by himself. So Joseph was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an official of Pharaoh, bought him from the Ishmaelites. Well, luckily, Joseph was blessed by God in all that he did. And so Potiphar became a prosperous man. But while Joseph was there working for him, he was blamed for something that he didn't do. And because he was blamed for this, he was put in jail. This is a lot more suffering. Can you imagine being put into jail for something you didn't do? But he still didn't complain. Joseph's story is quite long. And while he was in jail, he interpreted dreams. And eventually he came out of jail and he interpreted Pharaoh's dream. And then there was a famine in all of the land. But I want you to know, eventually he was given authority over all of Egypt. And eventually he was reunited with his family, which is nice. So he does have a happy ending. But just remember that he was hated by his brothers, he was sold by his brothers, and he was cast into prison. And through all of the suffering, he never complained. That's the end of this story. If you want the details, ask your parents to read you the story of Joseph in the Bible in Genesis. Okay? Goodbye.
Lord, today keep my mouth from complaining much. Even when things are tough, never giving up. Lord, I would not complain when things are hard. Give me, Lord, a happy heart.
Isn't the lesson suffering without complaining?
Yes.
What's an example of that?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I can think of one big example, and that's what the whole world is in right now. We are in what they're calling a global pandemic, where everybody has been ordered to stay at home and you can't leave your house. So that is a kind of suffering, right? How have you guys suffered during this time of staying at home?
I can't see my friends.
I haven't been able to finish my sports season.
Those are good examples. What does complaining look like?
Complaining looks like when you whine or pout or moping around.
Yes, right. So how have you all learned during this time how to suffer without complaining?
Instead of complaining about not seeing my friends, I call them or FaceTime them.
I make the best out of my sports by going outside and playing basketball.
Excellent. All right, let's sing this song one more time.
Lord, today keep my mouth from complaining much. Even when things are tough, never giving up. Lord, I would not complain when things are hard. Give me, Lord, a happy heart.
Greetings from the Church of Kennesaw. Hello, boys and girls. We hope you enjoyed your lesson. This is your memory verse for today. Put on, therefore, as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, inward parts of compassion, kindness, lowliness, meekness, long-suffering. Colossians 3:12.
Craft activity.
Hi everyone, we're the Ditzler family. I'm Miss Lisa.
I'm Mr. Gary.
And this is Bethany. She's coloring in a sheep. Today we'll be doing a sheep craft. This is what it's going to look like.
All right, so today we're doing a sheep because they're a type of animal that doesn't complain. They have a very gentle personality and they follow the leading of their shepherd. So here are the materials that are going to be needed for this craft. First off, we have the template of a sheep, or if you're comfortable enough drawing the sheep yourself, you can just do that. You're going to need a paper plate. You're going to need black construction paper or felt. You're going to need scissors, glue, white paint pen or white crayon, and then cotton balls.
Okay, so let's get started. Bethany is here because she's gonna help me glue our cotton balls onto the body. So what I did was I took a paper plate and I cut it out into the shape of the body. I took some felt and I cut out the head and the legs. And then I drew on the head with a white paint pen. But I want to emphasize that you can use whatever you have at home. Use black paper, white paper. If you want to draw it out, you can. If you want to add cotton balls, you can. Or if you don't want to, that's okay too. So here we're going to go ahead and make it. And we're going to go ahead and glue it. And Bethany's going to help me glue. You want to put some glue on? And the reason you want to use a paper plate is because it's a little sturdy to hold the cotton balls. So here, so let's put our head on. Can you pat it? Good job. Now let's put our legs on. Okay, pat, pat. Good job. Oh. And let's put our other leg on. Can you pat it? Good job. Okay, now let's add some cotton balls. You ready? I'm going to show you what to do. Here, you put the glue on. You want to put the glue on? Go ahead. Okay, add some cotton balls. Like that. Okay, here you go. More glue. Squeeze. Can you add more cotton balls? All right, good job. All right, we might have to add some more glue here too. More glue. Here, can you add this one here? Go ahead. Good job. All right, let's see if we have space for more. All right. Yay! Can you come? All done. All done. Look at that. You want to add some more? Here. There's space for one more. Good. And one more here at the top. Okay? Good job. Can you hold it up? Let's hold it up for everybody to see. And there's our sheep.
This is the day that the Lord has made, that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it, and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made.
Thank you for watching the Church in Atlanta Virtual Children's Meeting. Special thanks to the Totes in Kennesaw. Send questions and comments to AtlantaChildren'sMeeting@gmail.com.